Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us today. I am Nin, and I will be your host. Can everybody hear me clearly? All right, perfect. Let's start with my background. I started my professional career at Merrill Lynch with their private client group. At Merrill, we manage high net worth individuals. While it was great to track stocks and bonds, I was always curious about how these companies went public. Thus, after business school, I joined Pacific Crest Securities. Pacific Crest Securities is a tech-focused investment bank with global presence focused on software, communications, semiconductors, and internet and digital media. Here are a few transactions I worked on at PCS. In 2005, IPOs were at the peak, and it was an amazing time to take all these companies public. But that led to another question. How do VCs know what companies to invest in and which ones to take public? Thus, I joined Alpha Capital Partners. Alpha is a generalist fund with about 135 million of assets under management. My most recent transaction at Alpha was Circon, a software as a service provider company. During my time at Alpha, I realized how inefficient the fundraising process was, not necessarily at Alpha, but in general. That's how Nin Ventures came into existence. Nin Ventures is a first of its kind technology venture capital fund to be marketed, raised, managed, and reported online. The general solicitation and general advertising under the Jobs Act and Rule 506C of the U.S. Securities Act made it possible for us to raise this fund. The rule came into effect September 23rd, and we were the first ones to go live with a website and videos about our fund. Nin Ventures also became the first venture capital fund to be seen on a billboard, which was followed by in-taxi ads and other social media facilitated marketing. So what will Nin Ventures Technology Fund invest in? The fund will invest in Series A and B rounds and will write a check anywhere between 1 to 5 million based on the industry, sector, and stage. Our focus is primarily on financial services technology, education software, internet and digital media, mobile communication, cloud computing, 3D printing, and other path-breaking sectors within the United States. Let's start with a basic question. Why venture capital? Historically, if you look at U.S. Venture Capital Index and S&P 500, you will notice U.S. Venture Capital Index tends to outperform the S&P 500. And not only that, they have an inverse relationship. So what does that mean? For example, your traditional portfolio consists of 70% stocks, 20% bonds, and 10% money market investment. With addition of venture capital, your portfolio can now be 60% stocks, 20% bonds, 10% money market, and 10% venture capital investment. The addition of venture capital will not only help you diversify your investment, it will help you mitigate the risk given the inverse correlationship between S&P 500 and U.S. Venture Capital Index. So why venture capital and what is our strategy? Our strategy is to invest in early to growth stage path-breaking technology-focused companies. 2002 to 2012, technology investments have dominated the venture capital industry. And the highest amount of venture capital funding occurred in the early to expansion stage companies. If you notice, from 2002 to 2011, sector-focused funds have outperformed generalist funds. And technology sector has outperformed the rest of the U.S. venture capital index, with early and expansion stage companies yielding the highest returns. Thus, nin Ventures will invest in path-breaking, early to growth stage technology companies. We will not only provide adequate financing, but will lend our domain expertise and network of partners to help companies with recruitment, PR, and marketing, and a viable exit strategy. The strength of our team, the value of our network, and our funding model that's designed to reduce management costs creates a unique investment offering. So who can invest in the fund? One must be an accredited investor and verify themselves as an accredited investor before they can invest with us. An accredited investor is an individual with an income of more than $200,000 per year or a joint income of $300,000 in each of the last 2 years, or has a net worth exceeding $1 million either individually or jointly with his or her spouse, excluding the primary residence. For entity, any trust with total assets in excess of $5 million would be considered as an accredited investor. There are multiple ways to verify if you are an accredited investor. For an individual, it's income test, asset test, and third-party verification. For entity or your defined benefit plan, it's asset and third-party verification. Credentials is our most preferred third-party verification method with a simple and confidential process at a click of the button. We're also rolling out multiple alternatives that will let investors invest in our fund using their retirement plans. For example, defined benefit plan. A defined benefit plan is a retirement plan that can invest in a wide range of securities and investment products, including venture funds. Some of the advantages of investing from a defined benefit plans are all contributions made to the plan and subsequently invested are top-line tax deduction to the business, whether the business structure is sole proprietorship, an LLC, LLP, PC, a C Corp, or S Corp. The investment growth is tax deferred under the umbrella of the defined benefit plan. The contributions might be significantly greater than the 401k profit sharing plan to help increase the retirement savings account. In order to facilitate this, we have partnered up with Robin S. Weingart and Associates, which is a full-service employee benefit consulting firm based out of New York. To invest in nin Ventures using your defined benefit plan, you must first sign up on nin.vc and verify that you are an accredited investor. Next step is to establish a defined benefit plan with Robin S. Weingart and Associates. Once the plan is established and the contribution is calculated, you can complete the subscription and payment process on nin.vc. So let's go through the investment process step by step in detail. You first visit nin.vc to sign up. Sign up is simple. First name, last name, email, password, and acknowledge you are an accredited investor. Once you sign up, you get access to our marketing materials, that is PPM, investor presentation, and other suggested reading. You get invited to attend our events and calls. You can also schedule a one-on-one meeting with us at our office or online via Skype. Once you decide to make an investment, accept the risk and disclosure statement that will explain what venture capital investment is. The next step is to verify accreditation. Once you verify accreditation, Robin will get in touch with you to help establish this plan using a separate account with a new plan tax ID number, and RSW would also prepare the legal plan trust documents. RSW will calculate the maximum contributions that could be made to the plan. Once all that is in order, it's a matter of filling out subscription document and a W-9 form on our website. The last step is as simple as providing your checking and routing number and the amount you wish to invest. Please note that venture capital is a high-risk, high-reward investment vehicle, and we strongly recommend reviewing the other suggested reading on our website before making any investment decisions. On that note, we are open to questions. Please type your questions in the chat box and we will make sure we answer them all. John Goldberg is asking, who will be making the distributions once the fund achieves an exit? Nin Ventures will be making the distributions directly to the defined benefit plan. The next question is, whom should I call if I have questions? Whom should I call with questions? All the investment related questions should be directed at Nin Ventures, and we can be reached at 312-953-0930 or contact@nin.vc. And all the pension plan related questions should be made to RSW Associates. Their phone number is 516-794-1450. But in general, if you download the introduction packet, you should have information regarding the defined benefit plan, RSW, and ourselves, and all our contact information. But as I said, all the investment related questions should be directed to Nin Ventures, and all the plan or pension plan related questions should be directed to RSW. Any more questions? Once again, thank you all for being on the call. Sign up on nin.vc to begin your investment process, and feel free to reach us at contact@nin.vc or 312-953-0930 to schedule a one-on-one meeting with us or with any other questions and material requests. Have a wonderful day and happy investing.